Otra vez. Very good. Now we're going to see some greetings and farewells. Hello. Hello in Spanish. Hi or hello in Spanish is?
Hola.
Hola, right? And then we will just mention something about the letter H in Spanish, which is it has absolutely no sound. H in Spanish has no sound, just like K in knife, right? K in knife has no sound. Likewise, H in Spanish has no sound. Hola. Okay? It has no sound unless it comes after a letter C. After the letter C, then combined together they become ch. Right? As in when you say goodbye. Goodbye in Spanish, sometimes we say ciao with an O, and sometimes we say ciao with a U. It doesn't matter. We don't even know which one we say. Ciao or ciao. Right? We just say it. How would you say goodbye?
Adios.
Well, adios is another option, or you could also say ciao, right? Ciao with O, ciao with U, it doesn't matter. In Italian, I think you can say ciao when you get to a place, you can say ciao when you leave. In Spanish, we only use it when we leave, not when you get there, okay? And you could also say adios, okay? All those work. Let's say all three ways that we have written here. The first one for goodbye is
Ciao.
another one,
Ciao.
ciao, and the third one,
Adios.
adios. Hello is
Hola.
hola. Very good. Now we're going to do good morning. Good morning in Spanish is
Buenos días.
buenos días. Correcto. Good morning in Spanish we say buenos días, which turns out to be good days, but it doesn't matter at this point. We just want to learn it like a phrase. Buenos días. And then good afternoon is
Buenas tardes.
buenas tardes. See, the buenos, the O changed to an A. Buenas tardes, right? And then good night we would say
Buenas noches.
buenas noches, right? The reason why buenos changes to buenas is because of the gender of días and tardes. There's something about masculine and feminine and words related to it. We will see a little more of that actually today.
Now, is that based off time of day or sunset? Is it right now? Is it tardes or noches?
It's a very good question, and that is, I think, pretty much up to the person. I usually draw the line at 7. Chicago makes it hard at this time of the year, but anything before 7 for me is buenas tardes. Anything after 7 is buenas noches, because you can use buenas noches when you come in. I think in English, good night is I'm on my way out, right? You wouldn't walk in here and say good night, right? Is that right? Right. Okay. In Spanish, you can. Buenas noches is a greeting. Yeah, I don't think there's any specific rule for that. But it would be hard for me to walk into a place at 4:30 and say buenas noches, December 31st, when it's the darkest day. So I kind of try to go by the time, 7 p.m. So again, we have good morning. Good morning is
Buenas tardes.
Días. Buenos días. Good morning is buenos días. Good afternoon is
Buenas tardes.
buenas tardes. And good night is
Buenas noches.
buenas noches. And good evening,
Buenas noches.
buenas noches or buenas tardes again. Okay, it doesn't really matter. When do you say good evening in English? Is there a time there for that? Would you walk in here and say good evening?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And if it were 10 p.m., would you walk in here and say good evening?
If I'm leaving.
Not if you get to the place?
Possibly. It's kind of late.
You could?
Good evening, you could say when you get someplace, but you can't say good night when you get someplace.
Right.
Good night. Good night means.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Spanish, good evening can be buenas tardes or buenas noches, depending on where you decide to do the cut, which is a good thing. It's one less thing to learn. Please is very important. Please in español is
Por favor.
por favor. And then if you want to say thank you very much, you would say
Muchas gracias.
muchas gracias. If you would only want to say thank you or thanks, you would say
Gracias.
gracias. Correcto. Muchas gracias o gracias. Then if you want to say you're welcome, you would say
De nada.
de nada, right? Which is of nothing. Again, those are two important words. ¿Cómo se dice of?
De.
¿Cómo se dice nothing?
Nada.
¿Cómo se dice you're welcome?
De nada.
De nada.
De nada, right? You're welcome is de nada. Another important one is going to be when you leave. Sometimes you say see you, or when you say see you tomorrow, right? In Spanish, see you is going to be nos vemos.
Nos vemos.
Nos vemos. See you en español is nos vemos. Correcto. There is, there are. To indicate existence, there's a verb, which is there is, there are. There is, there are, either or. In Spanish is going to be I, right? H is silent and Y at the end of a word sounds like an I. There is, in Spanish you say I. There are I. There isn't no I, right? No I, because the negative of an action, we put a no in front. ¿Cómo se dice there isn't? No I. There aren't? No I. Right? No I. There is? I. There really is? C-I. Right? Affirmative emphasis, right? In Spanish, it always happens with C. In English, not always with do. Right? There really is C-I. Right? And then, no problem. No problem in Spanish is?
No hay problema.
No hay problema. Right? No hay problema. That's an important little phrase. As much as we might have heard no problemo before, right? That's not an option. No hay problema. No problem again in Spanish is?
No hay problema.
No hay problema. The next one is for the travelers, right? If you're going to a Spanish-speaking place, it wouldn't be a bad idea to learn how to say help. Come and get me because I might be dying, or somebody's dying right next to me. In Spanish, you say auxilio.
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 Very handy word in case of extreme emergency. I only had to use it once in my life and it worked. Right? Yep. I thought I was drowning. I actually was drowning, I think. Not a very manly thing to say in the beach, but worked. Auxilio. You might want to drill that one on the plane somewhere. Muy bien. Another important one is a party. ¿Cómo se dice a party?
Una fiesta.
Una fiesta. ¿Cómo se dice there is a party? Hay una fiesta. Correcto. ¿Cómo se dice there isn't a party? No hay una fiesta. ¿Cómo se dice I have a party? I have is yo tengo una fiesta. Again, I have a party, you would say
Yo tengo una fiesta.
yo tengo una fiesta, right? Earlier we saw I have en español is yo tengo. I have a party, again,
Yo tengo una fiesta.
yo tengo una fiesta. I don't have a party,
Yo no tengo una fiesta.
yo no tengo una fiesta. I do have a party,
Yo sí
yo sí tengo una fiesta. ¿Correcto? Yo sí tengo una fiesta. I'm sorry,
lo siento.
lo siento, or perdón. Right? Lo siento o perdón. Is there a difference? Yeah, there is, but there isn't. Doesn't really matter at this point. Lo siento o perdón will